guys, this is Andrea and this is my channel XTJ, Liberdade é o meu paraíso, or in English it will be XJW, Freedom is my paradise, and is inspired by video that Lloyd Evans made. Go to his channel to check there, okay? You need to watch the whole series of the worst convention ever to understand why this sentence is so powerful, okay? Go to Lloyd Evans' channel and check their worst convention ever series. So today I'm gonna make a video in English. Let's see about my story in the Jehovah Witnesses. Well. So let's do it. Well, I was born and raised in the organization, right? So I'm a third generation Jehovah Witnesses. My grandparents from my mother's side, I think they learned the truth later because he has some, my grandfather, he had brothers and sisters there were Catholics, so I think they were the first generation. My mom and my uncles and my aunts, and then me, my sister, and also my other cousins, my uncles' kids. Okay, sorry, I'm learning Dutch as well, so my English is a little bit so if I stop, it's because I'm trying to find a word. Sometimes I lose the words. I don't remember how to say something, even in Portuguese. Sometimes I have to research how to say something in Portuguese. That's my mother tongue, so I'm sorry for that. But well, as I said, I was born and raised in this organization, and well, everyone that was born and raised there can relate. It's a very, I'm not gonna say I had a terrible childhood, because I had good parents and I had a good family, you know. In general, they are good people, and my parents were great. They did everything they could for me, including providing things for me. I mean, food and shelter. I know it's their obligation, but what I'm trying to say is that they gave me much more than they had when they were kids. So they were good parents. But well, you were raised as a Jehovah Witness, and you know how it is, right? You learn since you're very young that you are a sinner, and then you need God's mercy to be able to survive this world, to be able to be worthy of something, let's say like that. So yeah, I was born and raised like that, and I actually never liked the going to the Kingdom Hall and this kind of things. I never liked it. I remember I used to cry before we had to prepare for the meetings, because if you are a Jehovah Witness, you have to prepare for the meetings, right? So you have to, yeah, you go through the same piece of information in your house with your family, and then again in the Kingdom Hall, because yeah, it's part of the process of brainwashing people. But well, I never liked it. But you know, your parents tell you that that's the truth, so of course you're going to believe your parents, right? And then I kept going, and when I was child, I remember I used to question my father about everything, because as soon as you're able to read as a Jehovah Witness, they give you a book, right? In my case, it was my book of Bible stories. I think that's the title in English. The yellow book with those horrible, terrible, scary images for a child. So, and I remember I read the book many times, and I used to ask my father, like, I don't understand why, I don't know, Lot's wife turned into a statue of salt just because she looked back, and King David did so much worse things, including killing someone, and he was, you know, God forgave him. Like, it never made sense to me. But my father always tried to explain the things, etc. And it's weird, because as a child you can feel that something's not right there. Maybe not all child, maybe not all children, but my sister, for example, she's still there. She's still a faithful Jehovah Witness, and even if we were raised the same way, so I was like, I always felt something's not right, something's weird, but well, I kept going. One thing that happened with me, I was sexually abused by a fellow Jehovah Witness. He was not from my congregation. This guy, he worked at my school, right? And yes, he was a Jehovah Witness too. So one day I became friends with his daughter, and one day I went with her to their house to play with her, and he created a situation, and his kids were there because she also had a brother. So my friend, she was there and her brother was there, and even though this guy created a situation where he could sexually abuse me, and well, I just blocked everything that happened, and I don't remember exactly when. I recall all the event or how it happened exactly. I just remember there a long time later I told my parents. I just remember what happened and I told my parents. And well, my parents didn't go to the police, of course, and although they believed me, right? They believed what happened to me, but nothing was done, I even remember saying like living in Jehovah's hands, because the thing was, my father said to me, you only telling me that now, is already a long time ago, we don't have any proof. What is true? I didn't have any proof. Would be my word against his word, and yes, so my parents didn't do anything. So I had to see this guy in conventions and assemblies, and and before I tell that, I told his daughter what he did to me, and of course she told her father, and then he called my house because we used to call each other before, so he had my number. Then he called me and said, why are you spreading those lies about me? So the guy had the nerve to call me, and yes, like call me a liar. It's a terrible experience, because at certain point they say, they are so sure that they didn't do anything, or they tell you with such a strong way, that at points the victim can start even blame herself, but also doubt herself. Like in my case, it's like, oh, did it? Maybe I was imagining it. Of course I know that it happened, but this is a sick way that many of those abusers, they actually say that I didn't do anything, you're lying, in front of the victim. And that's terrible, because at certain point I even start to think like that. Maybe I was imagined, but I was not. Anyway, I remember that this guy, at one point, he was disfellowshipped. I don't know why. I don't know what he did, but he was disfellowshipped. And I remember my mother saying, like, see, Jehovah's justice is there. Like, he was punished by because of what he did. And I felt very weird at that point. But well, you just keep going, I became a publisher, and then I decided to get baptized when I was a teenager. But at that point, I was already living a double life. Before I was baptized, I was already having secret encounters with boys, like not doing anything too much, like just kissing, But even though I decided to be baptized, because I thought maybe if I get baptized, I will become a better Jehovah Witness. I don't know. Maybe it would change something in me. And well, I kept going. And then I was in high school, and this is the first big change in my life, let's say like that. I decided to go to the university. I was doing internship I was doing internship back then, and then I had the money, so I paid for the fee to be able to do the exam. And I haven't passed the exam yet, and my mother was already saying like, oh, I can't believe you did that. How could you register to do an exam? You know what the organization says about university, etc., etc. And then was a hell, yeah. But in the end, I passed and I decided to go. My mother even said, I'm not gonna give you any money. But in the end, my parents supported me. I have to say that. They supported me. They helped me go to the university, and with money to, because you also have to spend money to study, and so it's not for free, completely for free, although I was in a public university, but because in Brazil it's a little bit different from US, so we have public universities, but still you need to pay for the bus to get there, the material, books, etc., etc. So my parents really supported me. And well, at the university I became to be even more become even more free than before. I started to go to parties. Sometimes I'll lie to my parents and go to parties and live a double life. Until the moment that I was, well, they found out about what I was doing. But let me tell you how it happened, because it's a very, now it's fun. Now it's funny story, but back then was terrible. Well, my mom had this Bible student, and this Bible student, she worked in a motel. Now, in Brazil, a motel is a place where you go to, get busy. That's a motel, right? So she worked in there in a motel. I didn't know which motel, of course. But well, and she couldn't become a publisher because of that. My father was an elder, and he was the one who said like, no, you work in a sinful place, so you cannot become a publisher or get baptized or anything. And well, things go by, right? And one day I met a guy in a party, and then we decided to go to a motel, right? And in the morning, when I come out of the room, who do I see? Aha, my mom's Bible student was there. This is that was the motel she worked in. And I was like, oh my God. Inside of me, I was like, fork. Because I knew, that's it. And then I called her and she said, no, you have to tell your parents. You have to tell, because I'm not able to sleep knowing what you did, etc., etc. So I told my parents what happened, right? It was terrible. Everyone was crying like I committed a crime or something like that, like I was going to jail or something like that, Everyone was crying. Even my dog was crying. Like, why is everybody crying and so sad? My poor Valentine. Rest in peace. And yes, like everyone crying. Then my father said, you have to go talk to the elders. So I had my judicial committee, the juicy, amazing, but no, right? Judicial committee. And well, I went to the judicial committee, and I confessed it was a terrible, super traumatizing experience. Like, three men. I don't remember if in my commission was two elders or three elders. I really don't remember. I think it was two, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember anymore. Asking about everything. Did you use a condom? How long did you do that? Of course, I didn't tell that I was actually doing that thing, like going to parties and kissing boys and going out with boys, and when I wanted, of course, for a long time. I told them that that was the first time I did that, and the guy was my boyfriend, or that I met him in a party or something like that. And in the end, I told them all those details. They asked a lot of very embarrassing questions. And at a certain point, I don't remember why, I told them that I was sexually abused when I was a child. And the way they asked me about the abuse was very weird. Because they asked me like, how did you feel? Things like, something like that. I even thought after a while, maybe I fantasized this, but no, they actually asked that. And after I started watching interviews with other abuse victims, when they were talking with the elders, many of them say like, they ask like if I like it or not, because it really is something that at the time I didn't think, but now I understand that they see this thing as a sin, right? Unfortunately, and it's a big disgrace for the organization that they see child sex abuse as a sin before seeing that as a crime. So that's why they ask this kind of things. So they really ask me like how I felt. How did you feel when it happened? Like, you don't ask that to a victim. Of course, the person feels terrified. The victim feels terrified, or it's a terrible sensation. Don't ask this kind of BS to a victim. But anyways, I was only reproved. So they said we're going to announce that in the next meeting. And then the next meeting, I was home, and I didn't get ready to the meeting. For the meeting, and my mom said, are you not going to the meeting? I said, no, I'm not going. They're going to announce today that I'm going to be reproved, so I don't want to hear. I want to stay here. And after that, I never went to the Kingdom Hall again. The last time I stepped in a Kingdom Hall was for my judicial committee, and that judicial committee actually light up something in me, like, was so weird and so traumatizing that I really made me, okay, I don't want to go to this thing anymore, And then the time went by, and I didn't go to meetings anymore. I was not going to meetings anymore. My mom was, of course, very, very upset. Like, it's terrible. How can you do that? You're so smart. You don't understand that serving Jehovah is everything in life, etc. My mom is the only thing she knows, because my father learned the truth later, right, when he wasn't already an adult. But my mom, that's everything she knows. But well, anyways, I graduated because this thing that happened, the woman in the motel seeing me, and I had to confess everything, happened when I was about to graduate. So imagine all these terrible things going on, and I had to write my final papers, etc. Well, anyways, and then I graduated, but I asked to become a student again, because I wanted to learn how to be a Portuguese teacher for foreigner people, because I was already teaching some students from United States for a while. So I said, okay, maybe it's a good thing. Back then Brazil was booming, right? It was very hype. And yeah, so I came back to the university, and in one of my classes we need to make evaluated a book by a Brazilian woman that's also from the same state as I am, from Bahia. And she actually didn't mention there, right? I'm from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. And well, she was living in Mexico, and she had a school to teach Portuguese for foreigner people. So I asked her if I could go there and work for her. And she said, okay, so we arranged everything. I went to Mexico. I left my family. Of course, I was very sad, but I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to move out of the house anyway, so I'm gonna go and try. And I lived in Mexico for 5 years. And during all those years, my mom didn't talk to me at all. If I call home and she pick up the phone, she was just avoid talking to me, like, oh, hi, I'm gonna get your sister, or something like that. So she didn't talk to me for a while. And later I found out that she had depression, and I felt very, very guilty because, of course, I know the fact that I left the organization was the trigger. Of course, it's not my fault, but because she also had a very problematic childhood with violence in her home, etc. And also the fact that she was raised in a cult, right? But of course, I understand that what I did affected her. But anyways, I lived in Mexico. We didn't talk. My sister talked with me for a while, but then she stopped talking with me as well. And well, I moved to the Netherlands. I decided that I wanted to live in the Netherlands, so I moved to the Netherlands. And at certain point, I had to go to Brazil to fix my documents, right? To go to the consulate there, because in the Netherlands you cannot solve anything here, so I need to go to Brazil and do things there. And then I finally meet with my family, like for after 6 years, because I lived in Mexico 5 years. I stayed 1 year here in the Netherlands, and then I went to Brazil to solve the papers, etc. Solve the papers, I don't think that's correct, but to fix my papers, etc. And then I saw my family again, and it was very sad because it's a weird relationship, you know. I know that they love me, etc., but it's always like, oh, there's always the shadow of the idea that, oh, she's going to be destroyed if Armageddon comes today. You know, there's always this shadow there. But anyway, I went to Brazil, I saw my family, etc., and I came back here to the Netherlands, right? So during this time, I was here doing my things, studying the language, studying Dutch, and doing my exams, doing some things I had to take care of. But well, we got married. My boyfriend proposed to me, and then last year in 2020, and this year we decided to get married. And well, I was talking with my family. I could call my father or even video call. Also, my mom would talk with me if my father was home at the moment I called him, or my sister. I was actually talking a lot with her lately. But well, the first big shock of reality came because I had this relationship with them, like we could talk, and my father even said that after I was married, he could come here because then I would not be living sin anymore. But well, we set the date, and I told my father and my sister, like, oh, you guys can come and we can arrange the tickets, etc. And then my sister said, look, I think you forgot. Thomas is not a Jehovah Witness, so we cannot go to the wedding. And then I got very sad. I cried, of course. I even called my father and said, I think I should disfellowship myself. Then you guys don't have to talk with me anymore, and we can stop. Like, basically what I said was, you can stop pretending, just forget I exist or whatever. And my father said, no, it doesn't change anything. You still be my daughter, etc. But well, that was the first impact, because I thought we are having a good relationship now, so maybe they will come to my wedding, you know. But then after a while I said, I talked with them and said, I don't even want you guys to come anymore because I don't want to put anything bad in your consciousness. I don't want you guys to come anymore. And things goes on, and I started to watch some documentaries about Nexium and then about Scientology. And when I watched the things about Scientology, including the Leah Remini Scientology and the aftermath, I was like, wait a minute, this is very similar to Jehovah Witness. And that's when I realized Jehovah Witness is a cult. Something so obvious, huh? But it took me a while to realize. But I was like more than 7 years out of the religion. I didn't believe it anymore. I was an agnostic, let's say like that. I didn't even believe in the Bible or this kind of things anymore. But I couldn't see that Jehovah Witness is a cult. And after I saw this documentary, then I started to go and watch Lloyd Evans videos, JT and Lady C channel as well. Recently, I found some more channels, also some channels in Portuguese, and Osmanito, Fomos Testemunhas de Jehovah. Those are some names of channels in Portuguese, made by Brazilian people. And well, I started to watch that, and I thought, I don't want to be part of this religion anymore. Especially when I found out about the child sex abuse cases. Oh my word. I mean, that's disgusting and terrible, especially because I am a victim. I'm a survivor, let's say like that. I think there's a better word. I'm a survivor. And it's really sad to me to see that this organization that I served, maybe I was not the most zealous Jehovah Witness, but I tried. I went to the field service, I went to the meetings, etc. I spent quite a lot of time of my life dedicated to this organization. And they are protecting people that hurt children. People like the guy that abused me. And then I thought, I don't want to be part of that anymore. And I talked with my boyfriend, and I said to him like, I don't want to be part of it anymore. And he said, well, but are you sure? Sorry guys. Are you sure you're going to jeopardize the relationship you have with your family now? Because now you guys you can at least talk, etc. And I said, if their love for me is conditioned to the religion, for me being a religion, I mean, I'm not even going anymore. I'm out already for more than 7 years. And I really don't want my name related to this thing anymore. So I sent a letter saying, I'm a child sex abuse victim survivor. I cannot be associated with an organization that protects pedophiles. I put that in my letter. And then my sister got very angry at me, said I was being selfish. How can you be so selfish and disfellowship yourself? Like, it's my fault, it's my fault. In a certain way, I understand, because I could have stayed in the limbo, let's say like that, right? Like, I'm not this fellowship, so I can talk with them. But I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want to be part of this religion anymore. It's I think that if everyone that they have the possibility to leave, because I understand many people are in there because they don't have any options, because they're going to be shunned, they still live with their parents or whatever. But if you have the opportunity, if you can leave this organization, I think it's the best thing to do, because it also impacts their numbers. And there is also the moral part. As I said, I don't want to be my name associated with an organization that protects pedophiles. because that's what those people are. But well, that's it, basically my story. And of course my family doesn't talk to me anymore. Yeah, my father called me on my wedding day just to say good luck, because they don't use the word luck, but wow, to say just calling because he has a wedding today. And I felt that he was sad because he was like, okay, I'm just calling to wish you the best, etc., so we can actually talk. Like, I could feel that in him. But yeah, that's what this cult does with people, control them, make them shun their family and friends, among other terrible things, like the blood policy and other terrible things that they use to hurt people, because that's what those things do. But anyways, that's my story in the Jehovah Witness organization. So now I'm an apostate. I have a channel on YouTube where I speak against the governing body, especially, right? Because it's always against them. It's not like against Jehovah Witnesses individually. It's always about the governing body. They are the bad guys, and the people they help them as well. But anyway, that's my story in the Jehovah Witness. I hope you guys liked it, although there's many sad parts and many things about, well, everything about this religion is it's a little sad, but well, we learn, right? It's terrible. We shouldn't have to go through this kind of things in life. But now I use this opportunity, as I said, to try to help people in my channel, because if I had access to the information I have now, for sure I would have done things differently. For example, I'll not get baptized, right? But well, it happened the way it happened, and this is it. Thank you for watching, and bye.